G'day fellas, and welcome to a casted game of Age of Empires 4. Today, it's a special casted game because, well, you may have already noticed, ladies and gentlemen, the road to Redbull Wololo is finally here. We're looking to see who will become the top player, who will become the best player in the world this time around, because we are once again going back to Redbull, Wololo. I'm excited. You're excited. Let's get to it, because we've got two players today, two contenders who are vying for entrance into the Redbull Wololo, or at least the road to Redbull Wololo. As you'll know, the journey to actually get there, it takes quite a while, and these are those baby steps, ladies and gentlemen, spawning in on the west side of the map in the color yellow, playing as the Malians today, representing Team 3D, it's Scatterbrained. And on the east side of the map, in the color green, playing as the Delhi Sultanate, representing Volda Esports, it's Voldemar. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dry Arabia. A pleasure to have your company. And of course, if you're enjoying this video, if it's a pleasure for you to be watching this video, I encourage you, go ahead, leave a like down below. Really helps out with the traction of the content. Let's get to it, though. Let's talk a little bit about this matchup, about what we expect to see, whether or not we're going to see early aggression. Of course, the Malians. Nice to, or like to open up with this nice little greedy opening. Meanwhile, the Delhi Sultanate, it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing any aggression coming out of the gates today. Of course, all of their technologies coming in for free. It's been a bit of a while since we posted a casted game, so I thought, you know, what better thing to do than to do a Redbull Wololo game. Now, of course, if you would like to watch Redbull Wololo, you'd like to see the live action, make sure you go and check out EGC TV tonight. EGC TV, there we go. We got it eventually. It's 15 GMT, so that'll probably be a couple minutes after this goes live, maybe an hour or two after it goes live, somewhere in that region. And of course, they'll be doing it Saturday and Sunday all throughout this month, a couple of weeks into next month as well, so make sure you go check it out. I'll leave a link down in the description below to their Twitch channel. Now, you might be wondering, Drongo, you're casting Redbull Wololo, or at least casting the road to Wololo. What are you drinking, mate? Well, that's a great question. Let me snap it open so you can tell. Of course, there's no surprise, ladies and gentlemen. It's at Redbull. Give me a sec. You got to try this one. It's good. Oh, that's good as well. I tell you what, it's kind of a relief when you have them, because you get different variants of Red Bull. Like, even though it's the main variant, the main flavor, if you're like me and you've drank 23,000 cans of Red Bull, you can start to tell the difference between the flavors, and this is the good one of the OG, because I don't think I should say variants, but like different batches. Anyway. There you go. Let's get into it, because the age-ups are starting to come through. Dome of the Faith coming in for Voldemar. Something that we often see for players is moving into this more eco-focused style. It's a hugely important thing to do, especially the longer the game goes, to make sure you keep that scholar count up here. And that's exactly what he's going to be doing here with the Dome of the Faith, producing those scholars at a lovely discount. 55 gold, quite a bit. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Scatterbrained going to be dropping down the Mansa Quarry. Now, I guess a couple of other points of order just before we get into the game. I will just say right now, I have refreshed or reinstalled Windows, so I've got a full updated version of Windows. Not updated version, but you know what it's like when you I'm sorry, I had a thought in my head. When you've got Windows, right, and you haven't reinstalled for a while, it's kind of like you're wearing a pair of undies from the day before. You know when you go on a camping trip and you're wearing the same undies and you kind of wish you'd brought a second pair and you just didn't because you didn't think you're going to be out here for so long. Anyway, when you reinstall Windows, it's like you're putting on a fresh pair of undies, and it feels so nice, man. God, it feels so nice. Everything is just so smooth. It just reacts. It doesn't think. Like, every single time I open up Windows, like previously, it just hangs a little bit, has a bit of a think, whereas now it's just like, it's instant. And for anyone wondering, we went with the what is it, the IOTS Windows Enterprise version, something like that. It's quite nice. It hasn't got any of the bloat on there that it regularly does. But age-ups now come through for Scatterbrained on the other side of the map. About to happen as well for Voldemar. Both players up before that 4-minute and 20 mark. Obviously, with a fresh install of Windows, I've tried my best to keep all of the settings the same. I've actually gone in and rejigged my audio settings, so you'll have to forgive me. I'm trying some new audio settings at the moment, or new microphone settings, so give me some feedback down below if you're a specialist. I know we've got a couple of them here. Let me know what you think. I've tried my best to do it. and try and get these settings in the right spot. So hopefully it sounds a little bit better for you guys as well. But we do start to see the signs of life coming out from Voldemar. A stable, a little bit of early aggression here. This is kind of normal, right? Delhi Sultanate. It's the same game plan every single game. That's one of the things I love about this civilization, is that no matter the civilization you're against, no matter the map you're playing on, it never changes. It's always about those sacred sites. It's about getting out those early Ghazi raiders, and that's exactly what we see right here as they are in queue. No rally point set just yet. Voldemar losing a couple seconds there, the kid. He's obviously grown up quite a bit. Now, I should also mention that these games that we're watching right now, or this game that we're watching right now, is actually like the grand final of last week's Redbull Wololo Road to Londonium, I think it's pronounced. Apologies. It's like the grand final of that. So the winner of this set will go through to the next. We'll go through to the next stage. Let's just put it that way. So these are the early stages. So keep that in mind, but obviously this is quite important. The grand finals are important because if you win at the grand finals, then you're through. You're through to the next. You've qualified at least to the next stage, not to the main event. Because I think for the main event we've got 4 people going this year for Age of Empires 4. So you know they're slowly improving, well not improving, but we're slowly getting more players. You know, last Red Bull Wololo we had 2 players attend for Age of Empires 4. Then we had 4 this time. Next time it's going to be 8, and in about a decade there's going to be 16,384 of us that's going to be attending. It's going to be wonderful. They're going to have the biggest event, the biggest LAN in history. I don't know if that would qualify as the biggest LAN, but I don't even know if that was that the right number. Hold on. 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 1,024, 2,056, 5,000. Oh, I've already lost myself right now. Never mind. We'd probably... Anyway, I'm kind of tempted just to pause here and just think. I pulled that number out, 16,384. I don't know where it's in. Like, it's somewhere in the memory. I know it's an important number. I'll just put it out there. Donzo's now down towards this south side, looking to protect the beginnings of the pit mine. And, of course, all of the houses that surround it. Now Scholars going to start making their way out. We've got the first one heading down towards the south, up towards the north. We've got the second one that's moving up towards this sacred site. And, of course, in the middle of the map, already holding his line. You can see that we've got Sanctity about to arrive in 8 seconds. Beautiful timing here as well. I want to compliment Voldemar on this because often we'll see players that will literally just keep all of their Scholars inside the monastery or inside the mosque. Right until it's finished, and then they'll move them. No, ideally you want to have them all hitting at the exact same time, and then that way Scatterbrained is sitting in his base and he's going, okay, where are we going to go? Because if you're only taking one, like if you're only taking the middle sacred site, that's easy. We just send all of our troops to the middle sacred site. But if you're taking all 3, well, now where do I go? And no matter where I go, you're going to get 2. So it makes a lot of sense, because you can see right now that we do have movement coming down towards the south. There's a very good reason why that is, and that's because there's a sacred site down here. And naturally, he knows exactly where his opponent is going to be making moves towards, and I think Voldemar may have actually picked up on this, that he's not really receiving a whole lot of pressure out here on the map in any other spot. So we don't want to just send in a Scholar to its death. So naturally he brings it back. So smart, dude. Can we just compliment him on that? Like, he knows that there's units out. He saw that the Donzos were down here a little bit earlier. So naturally he says, okay, those Donzos from before, they're probably going to be in this area. Now, to be fair, it's not the Donzos. It's actually a Sofa Warrior, but still, you gotta admire the guy. He's come such a long way. You gotta remember, this is the guy. This is the kid. This is the one. The young guy from Scandinavia. Let's go with that. It's a safe term. It's a safe term that we can use to describe all of that region of the world. You know the region of the world that's got they've got life. Life's going pretty well for them over there. Let's just put it that way. It's expensive, but they make a lot of money, so they're fine. Anyway, Archers now starting to come out as well. +1s. Don't have +1s just yet on the way. Surely we've got a blacksmith coming down any second. Any second there's a blacksmith coming down, right? We've got the barracks out as well. Scholars inside. Going for an outpost over on the berries instead. Still no blacksmith. Very, very interesting. The delayed blacksmith. I'm not against it. You know, get those unit numbers out. He's got the tri-unit composition already early on. Looking to get aggressive here. Now, keep in mind, because this is a tournament game, these players have got a lot riding on this. So they naturally want to do everything they can to win this. That means picking the best civs, using the best strategies. So this is absolutely a strategy that you would expect to see on those high levels of the ladder. And look at this. The Sofa Warrior coming in, cancelling out the first first of the outposts. Ville's being evacuated. Meanwhile, towards the middle of the map, more Sofas trying to do their best to run rings around his opponent. Scatterbrain definitely doing a good job so far. Of course, for anyone unaware, these two players, both of them, Conqueror 3 players by an absolute mile. I think sitting somewhere in the around the 2100 to 2000 rating area. Though I do think the kid is actually rated quite highly now. I think he's almost at 2.2. I'd have to double check. His ELO is off the chain though. Let's just put it that way. Scholar over towards this west side, about half health. It's mainly been taken from the Wolf. We'll ride back on board here with Scatterbrain and see how he's doing as the raids continue. Now, what's the goal for Scatterbrain? I mean, he's done a good job so far. He's been able to secure the gold veins with the pit mines, so that's definitely ticked off the bucket list. How about cows? How's he doing? He's doing okay on cows. He's at 5 cows at the moment, but these cows are largely being eaten. He's also got the 3 that are inside the cattle ranch, so still really yet to build up that economy. And that's one of the great things about the Malians is you don't have to invest in a secondary TC just to start really building your economy. To the south, we've got another sacred site being neutralized. He's doing a wonderful job of keeping those sacred sites down. A key component when you're playing against the Delhi Sultanate is you can allow them to take sacred sites, but do not allow them to keep sacred sites. Very, very important. Donzo's now starting to move up, meet the spears head to head. The archer number's still looking pretty good here. It's a nice composition that we've got coming out for Scatterbrained. Another thing to note, because we have recently reinstalled, there might be settings or things that are different here. I mean, everything looks pretty similar to what it was when I left, but just let me know how things are going with regard to quality. If there's anything that's out of whack, anything that I need to look at, let me know. +1 ranged armor coming through for Scatterbrain. I won't be taking feedback about the casting, okay? We will be talking about UFOs. We will be talking... No, I'm just kidding. I mean, is there anything to talk about for UFOs? Not really. Nothing. You know, I keep you guys abreast of the UFO news. If there's anything that you need to know, you'll be made aware of through these casted games. We can say that much. But yeah, nothing that you need to be aware of at the moment. But we won't be taking feedback on that anyways. All right. That's a non-negotiable, as one of my high school teachers would say. That's a non-negotiable, Drongo. Anyway, archer numbers starting to build here on the south side. Keep in mind that for Scatterbrain, he's only got the 2 archers out for the moment, so no sign of the javelins just yet. But this is a little bit troublesome. You see, you can't really engage from this position. Voldemar continuing to reinforce towards the front. Now +1 ranged attack coming, or ranged armor coming through. The Sofas now moving backwards, looking to pick up the reinforcements. Undoubtedly going to come through. Look at the number he's got as well. Quite a lot. Spears are going to be able to make the connection. I don't know why he doesn't just take that fight. Probably because he's fearful that he's just going to take too much damage, and he's probably right. Meanwhile, back towards the main base, you can see that the army still stands here, and he's done a decent job of pulling these back. Keep in mind, this is cavalry, so he's always going to be able to potentially loop around and look to try and get an attack off, a favorable attack over towards this west side if he can. He's going to pick off a Ghazi Raider. Definitely worth it. Another Sofa towards the south, looking to try and hit that scout. Not able to find 100% luck, but now we've got double outposts coming out. This will be scouted out by Scatterbrain. He's got the scout with the army. Not a whole lot of health on these units. That's probably why he didn't want to take the fight against those spears. It would have been very hard to micro these 1 HP units. Meanwhile, back towards the base. The army continues to siege the main base of Scatterbrain. No real sign of an age up coming through just yet. You can see he's struggling to spend those resources. About 1,000 in the bank at the moment. Compare that over to Voldemar. He's having no trouble spending his resources. He has got nothing there. But at this stage of the game, it's pretty even Stevens. Scatterbrain slightly ahead. Managed to pick up 2 villages earlier on. Now, a little bit of an army, a little bit of a melee army. I do like this composition that's coming out, though. It looks like he's going to be favoring archers over the javelins, at least initially. We normally see players look to start out with archers, and then once you've got enough that you can one-shot the enemy spears, or like a nice little buffer, and then you can look to start getting those javelins in, and those javelins just really become the cream on top, or the cherry on top. Nice surround as well towards the backside. Spears do come through, and he's doing a wonderful job with those Sofa. Beautiful control coming out. Not enough Donzos here to defend, but it will be enough to force back, for the moment, those Ghazi Raiders. Mobility towards the south. And I tell you what, the story so far of this game is Scatterbrain and his Sofa are just incredibly mobile. Like, this would just... This is lovely. This is exactly what we want to see. We do also have, behind the scenes, a couple of farms coming up for Voldemar. So, quite early on here, but naturally he's realized that food is not infinite. Even though it is infinite, but like without building farms, it's not infinite. Food resources on the map aren't infinite, and therefore we have to eventually build farms. So he adds them in sooner. Maybe he's got a little bit of wood spare here or there. Doesn't really need it right now, so he can just drop that farm in. Why not? Spears towards the front, going to hold on. Voldemar looking to try and force the issue here. Let's ride on board with them now as we head into the cinematic mode, and this is it. Archer, beautiful micro coming in, trying to hit those Donzos. Manages to grab the Sofa Warrior on the defense. Numbers looking good for the Delhi Sultanate as they continue to climb towards the main base of the Malians. Sheep in the mix as well. Look at the sheep. Watch Sean the sheep. He's there. Pay attention to the sheep. Pay attention to the sheep. Oh, those archers got close to him. He's now made his way all the way to the back. Look at that single sheep. That single sheep just stands the test of time. He's like Big Ben right now. Big Ben? Yeah, Big Ben stood the test of time. But you know what's not standing the test of time? This Malian base. That is for sure. But the Malian reinforcements have managed to make their way back. We've got double sheep on the front line. Best of friends. Oh, how amazing. How beautiful. Is it going to be a spy? It could remain a spy. We'll pay attention to the sheeps in a little bit. I know you want to. We hear attack sirens going off in the back lines. We got to check in exactly what's happening over on the other side of the map. It looks like a raid potentially came in. I don't know whether it's a sheep or a cavalry, but it looks like it could potentially be a yellow sheep. Made its way a little bit too far towards the enemy base. Meanwhile, the story of the day. The secret spy. We've got two sheep. We've got Sean and Shelly. Who is your favorite? Sean or Shelly? I'm going to go with neither of these. I like the pink one because the pink one's rare. Have you guys... I don't know. Is the pink one in ranked? I don't think the pink one is in ranked. I remember it's in Crucible. The first game I played of Crucible, I got the pink sheep. And I messaged one of the devs and he's like, what the fuck? Like, WTF? Like, you already got it? Like, that's meant to be rare. And then I played like 100 games of Crucible and I never got the pink sheep again. It is rare. It's rare. It's one of those things. It's random. We eventually got the pink sheep again. It took some time. I don't think I've ever seen a pink sheep in ranked, but I know what I have seen. I've seen a... this is where I really wish I had sound effects and I could play the Among Us sound. Like, I've seen other things though. How are we doing on Sacred Sites? Sacred Sites looking pretty good this game. Honestly, so far from Voldemar. If you can keep 2 Sacred Sites, you're happy as the Delhi Sultanate. If you can keep 3, and he has for 30 seconds, you're having a blast. You've got so much extra gold that's in the bank. And speaking of extra gold that's in the bank, neither player looking at that age up just yet. 16 minutes through. We'll switch it over to income per minute so you can see exactly where they are. Cow number 4. We've also got the 3 out of 2 pit mines. That's obviously also including the landmark that we've got. The Mansa Quarry also counts for that. So do not be fooled by it. He's effectively 2 out of 2. I know. Don't worry. It's high on the card, high on the list of cards for the bugs to be fixed. Let's put it that way. But now underneath the town center, Voldemar, I'm going to be honest with you. You've got the military advantage, but I feel like underneath the town center is a bit bold without like the prospect of a ram. And even then, I wouldn't be doing this. But have a look at this. Scholars have been brought forward. I still don't think it's enough. I still don't think you want to be taking this fight. Interestingly, no javelins whatsoever. Kind of curious. Now Scholars moving forward. They're going to try and tank up a fair bit of the damage here. You can see them healing up, hands in the air like they just don't care. And now retreating away from the front. Sofa Warrior numbers look really good here. And yeah, I'm a bit concerned right now. That's 14 Sofa Warriors on the field. You're going to be very careful about taking this fight, Voldemar. He's going to stick around and look to try and keep everything alive through the power of faith. Unfortunately, it looks like the faith, he's going to need a little bit more faith than that. He's going to need to start taking leaps if he wants to survive this battle, this engagement. One of the things that I was doing with regard to my sound as well is I wanted to try and change, you know, when I was casting Outback Octagon 4, I went back and I watched quite a few of the games, and I noticed in a lot of the games we were peaking a lot. For anybody who's unfamiliar with what that means, it's basically when you go too loud on your microphone and it digitally stops your... No, it makes your voice sound very fuzzy, let's just put it that way. Anyway, I've tried to make it so that I can't peak anymore. I'm still coming at you guys with good volume, just hopefully not as much as before. It's not necessarily the volume, right? Because you can have high volume without peaking. And that's essentially what we've done. But now, Sofa Warrior's going to get caught out. Beautiful line of sight down here towards the south. Voldemar, of course, catching this unawares. Scatterbrained, thinking about a potential age up. 400, 500 gold a minute, 14 bills on gold, quite a bit. So he's going to try and hit the castle age here. I think it definitely makes sense. Your enemy's only got the 1 sacred site. You've got decent control. Of course, you're kind of having trouble here, but as long as you get castle age and get your upgrades in straight away, I don't have a problem with him thinking about going castle right here, right now. But you can see Voldemar definitely has some trouble with that idea as the archers come back and, oh my god, he's still here. Except this time, it's a sheep of a different kind. Where did that green sheep go? I don't know where. Who was it? Was it Sean? I think it was Sean. Sean was the first sheep. He was the black sheep, wasn't he? No, he wasn't. It was the yellow one. What was the name of the second sheep? He must be back at the town center now. Surely, he'd be back at the town center now. I'm worried about the sheep. Where did the sheep go? Okay, find the scout and you find the sheep. That's what my mum always used to say. say, Baby Drongo. Look for the scout, and the sheep will be behind it. I thought that could have been it. It wasn't. Oh, we've got fights happening back over on that west side. Excuse me. Apologies. Feedback down below. Leave the feedback. I know it's going to be there. Oh, he's murdered the sheep. Oh, Voldemar. I knew it was coming. I just didn't know when. I didn't know when. Voldemar, we caught you in 4K, my friend. Oh, you absolute murderer. It's all right. The kid. One day he'll grow to a man. And today is that day. We can now crown him the slaughterer. The slaughterer. It doesn't sound like a real word. It sounds like a made-up word that you say when you're like 9 years old. Like, they will call me the killerer. It sounds like an Adam Sandler title, like a title from an Adam Sandler movie, like where he comes up with something stupid like Blaze, Laser, Blazer. Oh God, I can't even remember what movie that's from. I just remember that line. God, that's so beautiful. It's something funny. Dodgeball. It's gonna be Dodgeball, right? And it's not Adam Sandler. It's the Ben Stiller. Oh my Lord, that's a great movie. Go watch that again if you haven't seen it before, or if you just want to have a good time. Scholars running their ways through this. Still no, by the way, we still don't have any javelin coming out here. Scatterbrain still not thinking about the castle age, by the way. Neither player really doing it. 20 minutes in, going to commit 100% to the feudal play. And this is it right here as we lose the UI and win the game. Voldemar's trying his best to force off his opponent, but the Sofa number still looking really good. He's still got good quality spears in here as well, but the archer's not really looking to focus them down, having trouble definitely getting through there, but now the javelin or the Sofa warrior number still looks very, very good, even though we're so far through this fight, and that's going to be hard. You can see just how hard it's going to be for Voldemar here as he tries to escape out the back. That extra armor really doing quite a bit of work for him, but manages to thin the herd, and now those cavalry numbers slowly go down towards 0. They're sitting at about 4. It took a while. It took a while for him to get there. Let's check in and see where these players are at, because after that fight, Scatterbrain's 100% going to be going Castle Age. You can't not go Castle Age after that. That was such a good fight for you. You've been dealing with pressure all this early game, and I think that's what we're going to see right here. He could drop the market if he wanted to do a little bit of re-macro. That's exactly what he's going to do. So normally when you look at that after a fight, you just want to try and age up as quickly as you can. So just sell the food here, drop the landmark, and then from there, you probably want to look at getting your upgrades, trying to macro towards them. But even if you can't, you still want to just do a little bit of shopping. Make sure that you've got enough. There's the Grand Fulani Corral going to come in on the backside of the TC. Doesn't really have a lot of cows in just yet. Sofa Warrior's going to head across the map. He's only got the 4 Sofa Warriors. A little bit of a dangerous time right now for him, to be honest. I would not stop making units here because this is very dangerous. So the most important thing right now is to get up quickly. That's the key component here. But even here, you can see him kind of pushing out, almost feigning aggression, almost feigning like, hey, I'm really tough. You know, don't you dare attack me. I'm super strong. But then it's kind of worked against him in a way. He's going to have to get a lot of Sofa Warriors out to cover this. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, he's lost 4 of them to the Ghazi Raiders of Voldemar. And it looks like Voldemar might be doubling down. He's got a huge, massive units now beginning to build up. 30 military population advantage, and we've got ourselves a classic timing attack coming through. As soon as this age up comes in, he's going to try and force this fight 100%. And he backs away. You know, it's one of those classic situations where Drongo's wrong. But it happens so often at this point that are you even surprised? Okay, I should have mentioned, look, you've got 2 ways that you can play it here. Number 1 is you can try and force the fight if you like your odds. Number 2 is that you can just go back and play it safe. It looks like despite the aggression, Voldemar will be playing it safe today. To be fair, he doesn't have a lot of cavalry, so it's not like he can really take that fight. If he had a huge amount of cavalry, then he can definitely force the fight. But the trouble that you're going to have is it's not going to be a head-to-head fight. You don't have a huge amount of battering rams either, so it's not like you're going to be able to force the issue. And the upgrades are going to be coming through any second now. And as we can see over on the other side of the map, they are indeed through. Veterancy has arrived. House of Learning getting rushed up, and he's playing the safer option. The only trouble is you're playing as the Delhi Sultanate, and it doesn't matter how safe you're playing, how many vills you've got on the landmark. It's going to take a long time for those upgrades to take time, take charge. Let's have a look and see. Minute 33, 90 seconds. It's a long wait. It's going to take him a while. 90 seconds on the way through, +2 coming through. We've also got the owned blades on the way. Plenty of eco upgrades. I'm looking out for the rest of them. Hopefully we've got our cavalry upgrades coming through. Just 5 minutes on this stable. 5 minutes on this stable upgrade. Whew, poor Ghazi Raiders. All right, let's check in with Scatterbrain. Right on board with him as he looks to try and force a fight here. Imported armor coming through for the sofas. An extra 2 armor for both your melee and your ranged armor. Definitely quite nice. He's got the advantage for the moment, but the numbers are still quite high here for Voldemar. Even though Scatterbrain's got the additional attack, the additional armor, doesn't have the additional troops, that is for sure. Voldemar definitely quite a horde beginning to unfold. The kid is evolving from a kid to a slaughterer to a killerer to a man out! Look at that! It's a war elephant coming out. It's not quite a Mahout, but we'll call it a Mahout for now. That was quite the. I'm impressed. Quite the segue right there. Because they're called Mahouts, right? But I swear I used to call them Manhouts. Maybe I was just, you know when you're young. I was gonna say, you know when you're young and you just pronounce things incorrectly, even though you know they're wrong. And here I am at like the ripe age of 73, still calling what is it? Montlou Academy, the Montlou Academy, when I know it's the Mount Lou Academy. But we've called it Montlou Academy for so long. At this point, if we went back and started pronouncing it Mount Lou, we'd let the haters win. And no, nobody wants to let the haters win. Even if they're right. Anyway, we got more upgrades starting to come through. We got hardy rations on the way, pikes coming in. We've also got owned blades on the way. Followed by Mahouts. There we go, Mahouts. And Tranquil Venue. And then finally, Reinforced Foundation. So all those unique upgrades coming in for a little bit of assistance. Just a very subtle piece of assistance. Poison arrows now arriving as well for our Malian player. And, we got a little bit of a lull in the action, so I'm just going to take this opportunity to have another sip of my Red Bull. This video is not sponsored by Red Bull. I reached out. They wouldn't sponsor me. Or at least, I didn't hear anything back. Well, that's probably the best way to say it. But I still like their product, so we're going to call them out wherever we get the chance. That's good, that's good. It's important that I don't forget about the Red Bull, because one of the worst things you can do is just leave it and let it get to room temperature. Once it's at room temperature, once a carbonated beverage gets to room temperature, I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's just put it this way. I have trouble drinking it. It normally goes down the sink. I don't know. It's tough. Are we missing a building right here? It feels like we're missing a building right here. Scatterbrained? Your brain is a little bit scattered, my friend. Now, he is also in the castle age, so he could potentially look for that third pit mine. Let's see whether or not he goes for it, though. He's got the first, the second. Don't be fooled by that 3 out of 3. It's lying to you. It's also including the Mansa Quarry. Once he's got the third pit mine, it'll show 4 out of 3. So technically, the Mansa Quarry is a pit mine, and that would be his 4th pit mine that he'll be adding in. We'll keep an eye out for it. Numbers continue to boost here. Scatterbrained really just committing to this whole idea of just mass archer. No javelins whatsoever. So we've really seen them fall out of favor. Keep in mind, because this is not a ranked game, this is a tournament game, that every tactic you're seeing here, you would expect to be the most valuable, most viable tactic that there is. So the fact that there's no javelins here indicates to me that there's probably a good reason. And that's because the boy don't like him. Speaking of boy, right now, have a look as we've got men-at-arms beginning to make their way out. They've got all their upgrades, or at least they should have their upgrades. You can see they've got the Kilig. I don't know how to pronounce that. Kilig. In the Philippines, they've got a thing called Kilig. But that's not Kilig. That's like Killige. Though I'm sure it's probably Kilig in some languages. Anyway. All right. Numbers looking good here once again for Voldemar. He's up 30 military pop, though the military... I mean, if we have a look at the army value here, 11,000 versus 6,000. Is that right? I feel like that's not right. There's a lot of Sofa warriors here. Yeah, but there's a lot of elephants right here as well for Voldemar. Voldemar looking really aggressive. Quite concerning at the moment. 28 minutes through this game, and he is not giving up. That is for sure. The aggression continues. I tell you what, this kid is an absolute maniac. He is going ham with the aggression. He is not letting his opponent breathe, not giving him any time. How are we doing on economy? I want to just quickly check in. 83 versus 84. 40 idle villages. Half the economy currently idle. The other half long-distance mining or long-distance chopping. All right, going up the reinforcement line with the sofas. They've got all their upgrades, almost all of their upgrades. Missing a couple here or there. Sacred Site slowly being taken across the map as well. Unfortunately, we caught it in 4K. You might have been wondering what happened to this scholar over here. Well, wonder no more, my friend. He has died. And, well, we can't say the same thing about this fellow on the south, though. 98 military pop for Voldemar. A huge army. Well, not a huge army right there. A huge army right here. A lot of Mahouts. A lot of elephants. Scatterbrained, 67 military population. So definitely in the same realm, but still outnumbered, outmassed, outgunned by Voldemar. Voldemar looking for an Imperial Age, 29 minutes in. I feel like he only just hit the Castle Age, but he says, no, I'm going straight to Imp. We're just gunning it. He's going to throw it down in the back of the base. A beautiful little spot here. Automatically produces Sultan's Elite Tower Elephants, and you can garrison up to 4 scholars in the landmark to increase production speed of those lovely units. Some of the best units in the game as well, pound for pound. Pound for pound? Pound for pound? I don't actually know, but I tell you what, these elephants are copping a bit of a pounding right now. Yikes. We're going to have to post that on the Patreon. I don't think YouTube is going to allow that kind of video. Yeah, that was rough. That was rough. Sorry, excuse me. I'll save the adult jokes for the Patreon. I'll be real with you. It's been a while since we posted on Patreon. Maybe we should post on Patreon again. It's been a while since we've said g'day to the folks over on Patreon. How you folks doing over there? I'm sure there's still a couple of you guys just waiting. Like, are you gonna post coaching videos again, Drongo? It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's been a while since I could call myself a coach. You know, I feel like to be able to coach in a game, you actually have to be good at the game. And it's been so long since I've played competitively. Like, I think I played a little. You know what, man? Maybe we get back. Maybe we get back to our roots. We get back to our roots. All right, I'll think about it. It's a prospect. Keep coming up on the south side of the base. Looking to apply pressure before those Imperial Age upgrades come through. Definitely knows he's on a timer here, Scatterbrained, and now underneath the town center of his opponent. Will look to try and force a fight, but not before he realizes he may have bitten off a little bit too much. So far, archers heading out of the base. The elephants in hot pursuit. You can hear them calling out. Fortunately, the elephants have given up for the moment, but the archers are back. And now underneath the keep, the archers continue to try and play. It's like a game of tag almost, isn't it? Like, you can't get me, you can't get me. But as long as they keep on playing, they got the pikes in the back as well, remember that. So you can hear those crossbows now starting to tee off. A little bit of a war between the archers. Sofa's now going to come through as well. Elephants going to do their best to make their way towards the front. Elephants v cavalry, a tale as old as time itself. But it looks like for the moment, neither will come out with a victory. Both of them holding for the moment the wall incomplete towards the south, just like my heart, just like the Backstreet Boys sung back in 2002, 2003. That was a good song. I tell you what, if ever quite often, my wife, Filipino, they absolutely love karaoke, and my wife is always asking me, whenever we go somewhere and the karaoke comes out, she's like, give it to my husband, he will sing for us. And so naturally, like, you gotta have a go-to song, and for me, it's just like Incomplete by the Backstreet Boys. It's just, I think maybe the next video, not this video, but the next video, will upload just a video of me singing Incomplete. I'm not doing that. Just don't ask me. It's not gonna happen. Incomplete. Not really. We're actually quite complete at the moment. Hand Cannoneers starting to come out as well. Voldemar looking a little bit better. I don't know if Scatterbrained is going to be able to fight this in the Castle Age. You can definitely try. He's got the Trebs. Is he looking to hard commit this right now in Castle? I don't know if that's going to happen, man. Like, the upgrade's coming through any second now, and I don't know if you're going to be able to fight this toe-to-toe. He's up to 18 cows. Still the single TC, so the economy is about even, but you got to remember that Voldemar's obviously got all of his upgrades, and he gets them a lot, or he gets them for free. So while technically he's got 90 villages, he's got 90 villages plus free upgrades, which means all of his resources he can spend on units. So effectively he's got a little bit more than what it shows. But yeah, there's no real easy way to like demonstrate that on a graph or a chart. I guess maybe you could call a scholar a villager. Maybe that's something you could do. But would you really say that like 11 scholars would be equivalent to every Imperial Age technology for free? Probably not. Probably not. Down towards the south, Scatterbrained looking to break through. Farms empty for the moment. He's going to do a little bit of burning, a little bit of sieging. Meanwhile, on for Voldemar, looks like the numbers continue to build. 98 versus 95, not including our siege. We've got 10 on one side, 6 on the other. And holding on for dear life. Voldemar knows it's only a matter of time, and I love the way that he's playing this out here. It's always difficult when you're up against trebuchets, but despite that, he's keeping a cool head about himself. Not looking to force the fight. Let the bombards be your guide. You can see he's got the tree line right here. I do believe he's unable to fire through those trees like a Springald. The Springalds could do it, right? How many times? Do you remember how many times you have like a Mangonel or a nest of bees right here, and the Springalds would be like, see ya? Yeah, never mind. He's firing. Oh, there's an opening. There's an opening. All right, it doesn't count if there's an opening. House of Learning going to be going down, but not before Tranquil Venue comes in. It's always good to see. This is a tranquil place. Fort of the Huntress coming up with 42 villagers. Let's see whether or not he's going to be able to make it, whether or not he's going to be able to break it. Does Voldemar spot it? It doesn't look like he's seen it. And because he hasn't seen it, he's not going to be able to contest it. And even if he wanted to try and contest it, I don't think he'd have the time. 42 villagers is a lot of villagers, as you can see. That's a lot of villagers. That's 42 villagers. The last time anyone saw 42 villagers, they said to themselves, that's a lot of villagers. And indeed, it's a lot of villagers. Keep going to be going down. Unlikely to be staying up against 2 bombards on the back. Elephants moving forward slowly. Got a little bit of extra health. Not quite a lot just yet. You can see all the upgrades on the way through. More units coming in towards that top side. Fighting before the elite upgrades. I wouldn't recommend it right now, Scatterbrain, but he's trying to hold this position. He's got the Fort of the Huntress that remains towards his southern spot. I would avoid fighting here 100%. I wouldn't even be taking these silly little shenanigan fights. Double Mangonel on the back. More upgrades coming through. We've got precision training. Elite upgrades finally coming through for our Sofa. Archers on the back as well. Continuing to kite away. And now the Mangonels have to run their escape routes. The poison doing quite a bit of work against these men-at-arms. And now the hand cannoneers on top of the elephants. Working through this backline. Eating it alive. Struggling to keep it together. Sofa Warriors up towards the top. Archers about to receive their elite upgrade. Go from 7 and 2 attack up to, what, 8 and 2 attack? Maybe even 9 and 2 attack. Let's have a look and see. Right here, 3, 2, 1. There we go. 8 and 2 attack. There you go. It's the little things. It's the little things. Voldemar. That's right on board. As he finally begins to push his way out. I don't know if that's the best timed wall. I will say that right now. But he's got the gate on the front, so he's okay. Fort of the Huntress. Keep in mind it does, or it is repaired with wood. So it will survive a little bit longer in these battles than a keep, just because typically you don't have a lot of stone, but you have a lot of wood, or at least you can get a lot of wood. But now, moving forward, the elephants begin to charge towards all of the siege. They've taken out the first of the trebuchets. The Mangonels managed to escape out the back. But now the archers have got their golden hats on, and with that, it makes life a lot harder for these elephants. The elephants now finally facing opponents of quite a bit more strength. The bombards are silent. I hear no bombards. Okay, there they are. I was wondering where they were. How many vills have we got in here? Looks like we've got about 10 vills in here. Archers working down this back line. Poison arrows on these archers doing quite well. Not a single javelin this game, and I don't think we're going to start seeing them now. But now the elephants are almost catching the archers out of position just a little bit. Just a little bit. And you can see that every time he tries, he's got that extra movement speed coming through, just keeping him alive a little bit longer, keeping his units alive a little bit longer. And still, the Fort of the Huntress stays alive. I'd love to see a cannon emplacement here. A cannon emplacement on this fort would make all the difference. But now, pushing through triple Mangonel onto a single elephant. Good luck. Good luck, Mangonels. Good luck. And now those elephants finally making a connection with the back. And he's fallen back away once again. He loves to just come in, take a whole bunch of damage, and then just leave. But now just cleaning up all the siege on the back line. Sofa Warriors also amongst it. The elephants charging him, but now we got a little bit of a Sofa counterattack that's happening up the backside. Meanwhile, towards that main front, it looks like the Fort of the Huntress will be going down shortly. Scholar's going to be running out to throw down some additional heals as the elephants clean up the last of the bombard. 2 bombards still remain for Voldemar, but he's decided to call it quits. They're packing up. They're leaving. It's Saturday. They're done for the moment. All right. We're back. We're getting paid overtime here. And now, you can see Fort of the Huntress with 13 vills. I mean, this is just draining. This is so much idle time for these villagers. Like, they're all idle, plus the wood that they're also using to repair. And now they're going to be extra idle because they're going to be dead. And you know what they say, a dead villager is an idle villager. This is true. You know, I feel like that's actually something that Shakespeare would have said. No point in keeping that villager over there, so you know what they say. Dead villager's an idle villager. Shakespeare was not American. He was definitely not from the Midwest either. Midwest? That was more like a Southern accent, I think. That was like a Shakespeare who lived on a plantation kind of Shakespeare. I'm sure he would have said. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna step away from that. A Southern Shakespeare talking about idle villagers, dead villagers being idle. We're just gonna walk away from that one. We'll do a 360. Hope you get the jokes. Anyway, that's one of my favorite ones. Why do they call it the Xbox 360? Because when you see it, you do a 360 and you walk away. Speaking of 360s right now, Voldemar has definitely turned this game on its head. maybe 180 degrees, we could say that. He has put the pedal down. Those elephants have finally made a connection and have blasted through that front. Scatterbrained, he's got a decent economy behind this, but it just doesn't feel like he's got the legs. The Delhi Sultanate are looking quite strong in this game. I think Voldemar's patience was incredible. The fact that he was able to hold on, that he was able to stay out of these fights. There was one point where I was a little bit worried about him, but at this stage where the kid is up such a significant military advantage, whereas forcing out the opponent on all parts of the map, it feels almost imminent. Now as more villagers go down on this south flank of the base, it feels only natural that eventually this game will get called. Of course, it's going to be a little bit slower because they are tournament games, so naturally players try and fight on a little bit longer, but with the pit mine going down and some random torches being thrown, I think it's time. It's a good opportunity for us to take a drink of our Red Bull. That's a good Red Bull. All right, let's check in with Scatterbrain. Now, what's the way that Scatterbrain wins here? Short of a King Snipe, what's the way that he wins? I think there's only one way. You know what way it is. You got to go for a landmark snipe. You can't face this army, these troops head to head. But the reality is this is a 1v1 map. This isn't an 8-player map. He doesn't have a whole lot of room to move here. It's only a matter of time until this army is marching at your door. How do you defend against this? Maybe mangonels? Like a big mangonel upgrade with a whole bunch of spears could potentially do it. But even then, or donzos. But even then, you haven't upgraded donzos, so you would be risking it, to say the least. Can we check on the siege workshop? So we don't have adjustable crossbars either. Very expensive. And I think this is just a consequence of like being 40 minutes into the game and not having a whole lot of villagers. Like we've got 80 villagers and some cows, but you know, we're not on 130 vills. This isn't the 2TC economy that we were dreaming of. And because of that, it makes it difficult. But now, towards the back of the base, it looks like the force march was potentially thrown out here. We've got the men-at-arms, actually. Where is it? Let me check. I'm looking. Where's that blacksmith? All right, we're not going to worry about the blacksmith. Let's worry about the landmarks. I'll worry about blacksmiths in my own time. Landmark victory approaching. That's 2 down. Keep in mind, we've got the first one that's already gone down. He's walling it out towards the front. What is this wall? This wall is designed so you don't sneak in and get it up when I'm not looking, because there's nothing worse. My wife tells me that is the worst thing that you can do to a person. But yes, so far, I've not yet experienced it. God, this has been a bit of a cursed cast, I'll say that much. Bombard numbers to the north looking solid, but look at the amount of... Oh, there's so many hand cannoneers. They're going to frontline tank against all the sofa, no trouble. Ville's now coming back to repair up the town center, doing their best to try and keep it alive through the bombards. But now the elephants towards the north. The true counter to the elephants are the mass bombards. Does he find a connection with it? More and more hand cannoneers coming through. You can see finally the infantry makes its way towards these bombards. The elephant counter, unfortunately, it looks like he's not going to be able to keep them alive for long enough. He's trying his best to kite with it, trying his best to micro. It was a pretty smart move. Honestly, the bombard mass is quite nice. It's one of the things that I always found very handy against those elephants, but at the end of the day, not able to find it here. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That was the wrong button. That was the right one right there. Hopefully you've enjoyed this casted game. Make sure you go check out EGC TV tonight, tomorrow, and every weekend for the next month or so. I'll leave a link in the description where you can catch it live. Go out and say g'day for me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.